Okay, so we're gonna talk about swap today. So what is swap? What is swap memory? It is a virtual memory. Okay. Okay, so it is a virtual memory used from hard disk. So let's see here. The command to check the swap is free-h. So whenever the system creates okay. So let me clear this. Uh, okay. When you use the free command, what will happen is it will give you the information regarding the memory here. So we have this much memory, and then the total memory, when you look at it, it's not going to give you the full memory, but it has a 1 gig of RAM in it. So let's see here, you go into settings, and then you go into system here, and over here you say the base memory is 1024, that means 1 gig. And then there is another 1.6 gigs of swap is available. And this swap is what is called a virtual memory. Okay, so okay, so swap. What is the swap memory? Okay, I'm not finding good definition here. So anyway, so the swap memory is used from the, so even the Windows computer has a swap memory in it. So let's take a look. I'm going to right click here, and then I'm going to click properties, and then advanced system settings. Okay, and then here, startup and recovery, performance. Okay, here. Okay, virtual memory. On this system, total paging file size for all files. So it looks like in this Windows environment, the virtual memory is nothing but a swap memory. It's currently allocated 5 gigs. So what is it exactly being used for? So when the system is being used heavily, what will happen is the processes which are a little bit idle, those processes that get moved to the virtual memory. That way what will happen is the real memory, this real memory is dedicated to the processes which are being used actively. Okay, so let's take a look here. Task Manager. And I have this performance and memory. And so what is happening here is, let me click here. So all these things are processes which are using the CPU, disk, and all this here. So let's click on the memory here. And all these things are using the memory here, and it will tell you what is using and what process is using how much memory here. So the processes which are not using too much memory or which are idle for a little bit, they can move to the virtual memory. Virtual memory in the sense, swap memory. Okay, let's see here. Hardware reserved, physical. Standby, cached, available, physical memory. Okay, to me, I don't know much about how the Windows handles the swap memory or the virtual memory, but in Linux, it's pretty simple here. If you type free-h, and then you will get the information that this much swap is being used. But the swap is actually the part of a physical disk. So if you type df-h, type df-ht, and let's see here. It's not showing here. Okay. I'm going to do cat etc fs tab, and in here, this is the swap memory that is being created by the system here. When you install it using the system, it automatically determines based on the available drive you have. You could see this information here. So let's see here. Let me do. Okay, I'm going to do P to print. Okay. 1 second here. Okay. partitions, SDA1, SDA2. Okay, we have here SDA2 as 8E. The ID is 8E. So let's take a look here. And let me change partition system. List known partition types. So I'm going to push L here and hit enter. And let's look for 8E, right? Where is 8E? 8. Can you see 8E here? 85.
Yes, but it has the Cat 16 LDA. Under 8, it has ABCDE.
Yeah, I see 8E. But it's showing LVM here. But so that's not the one we are looking at. 8.3 is this here. But we should be looking at 8.2. Okay. But anyway, let me finish this here for now. So let me search it using virtual memory. Yeah, virtual memory. Okay, yeah, this is a very good definition. So I'm going to copy. Okay, so what it's saying here is virtual memory is a memory management capability of an operating system that uses hardware and software to allow computer to compensate for a physical memory shortage. So what will happen here is, in a real world scenario, if the system runs out of the memory, and it does, a lot of time I've seen it, sometimes the system would have like 500 gig of RAM and will still be running out of the memory, and you will get the error, you will get the alert and the ticket. So based on that, you will work with the database team. So what will happen here is it will actually tell you how much is free and how much is left and used up. And then also you would have the swap memory here, and you will get the ticket that says the swap is being used at this moment. So you have to take a look here. But swap is a virtual memory which you're cutting it out of the physical hard drive and using it as a RAM. Okay, so in our situation we have real memory is real memory is 1 GB, and then the swap memory is 1.6 GB. Okay. Oh, you know what? I actually do this here. Swap is standby memory, and it is a virtual memory used from hard disk. Is good. I hope you all are getting what I'm trying to say here regarding this. So in here we have total RAM here is 8 is 2.6 GB. Okay, and then the system uses the swap memory when the real memory is full. It moves.
Can we call it physical memory?
Physical memory is swap memory is like it's using it out of the hard drive. So it's called virtual memory. It's just using the part of a hard drive.
You know, what I'm saying is like the second last line is real memory. So instead of calling real memory, you can call it physical memory.
Yeah, physical memory. You're right. The system uses the swap memory when the physical memory is used. It moves the processes which are not active. Okay? Moves the processes which are not active to swap memory. OS moves. Operating system does that. So in a nutshell, swap memory is a safety net for a physical memory. Okay. All right. So let's see here if I could find a picture. I like this picture, but it's confusing. Okay, yeah. This is a nice picture. Okay, so you guys can hear me clearly, right? There is no static, anything like that?
No, sir, everything is clear.
Everything is clear.
Okay. Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to delete this. Delete this. So our memory is so our memory is 1 GB, right? It's 1 GB. I need to get a new computer. This is so slow. Okay, right now in our situation it's 1 GB, 1 GB RAM, and we don't care what's the size of the hard drive here. And then the virtual memory is being carved out of the physical hard drive. Okay. So how much we are using that as a 1.6. 1.6 G. Okay, this is just a safety net. Okay. All right. So I like this picture here. So okay. So that is what it is. Okay. Now what will happen is, what if the swap is full? Okay, and you have a database here that need to be it cannot afford to go down here. So we need to, what we'll do is we'll extend the existing swap. Okay, I'll show you how. So let's go back to our diagram here, the previous one we've been using. Okay, so we still have about 4 GB of blank space available on SDC here. So we do DFF and H, and we have SDC1 and SDC2. Okay, so what we did is we extended the partition. Partition to SDC is now 8 GB. Yeah, and SDC1 is 4 GB, and then there is a blank space. How much is blank space? 4 GB is left here. So let's see if you can see cat etc partition. Proc. Okay, it doesn't tell us what's there. So we could do is we could do fthis command to go in there. Okay, so let's do lsblk. Okay, so this is a good command you should keep in handy here. It will tell you, you don't have to struggle too much to find out how much space is left on a physical disk. So SDC, you could say 16 GB, 8 GB is for SDC2, and 4 GB is for SDC1. So 4 and 8 is 12. So we have about 4 GB on hand. So we're going to use we'll go crazy here. We'll just use the rest of the partition to make it a swap partition. Okay, so how are we going to do that? It's not very difficult. It's very simple.
Is swap have any limitation, or is it can be assigned? There is no rule on that.
Can you repeat it, please?
My question is swap has any limitations, like it has to be a certain size or not having it like that? You can have 100 GB swap.
Well, when the system is creating, it's just calculating how much real memory you have. Based on that, it will create swap. Okay.
So when we change it, when we add it, when we increase it, so is there any rule for that, or just
there is no rule. I mean,
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, if you have unlimited hard drive, because this is being used from the physical hard drive.
Yes.
If you have unlimited hard drive space, then go for it. I mean, put it like 2 terabytes or whatever.
In the real world, have you done it like bigger sizes as well?
In the real world, the most I've seen is 16 GB. I'm sorry, 64 GB. And then the physical swap I've seen is about 2 terabytes. The maximum is 2 terabytes, and then the swap is 16 GB. I'm sorry, I've seen swap 64 GB, and the maximum physical memory is 2 terabytes I've seen.
I think it is related to the RAM, right? The system RAM. Based on system RAM, we can decide the swap. Is it right or no?
When you first initially install it, the system does a lot of calculations.
By default, it creates swap, right?
Yeah, it actually looks for the size of your hard drive also, and based on that, it will give you. So let's do LSDLK. And then the size of the original hard drive is 16 GB. So I think it's using 10%. That's your assignment.
Okay.
Install a brand new operating system using more than 16 GB or whatever, and tell me if it's going to be 10% of what it is. Okay. Okay, good. So that's a very good question. I think I learned myself. Okay, so let's create the swap here. Okay, so I explain this. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's create a swap here. So use the this command. Okay, use this commands to create a swap. So let's see here. We're going to use fdisk. We already determined which disk has a free space. So we're going to do dev/sdc and hit enter. And we're going to do P, and we'll look at the partitions here. So we have this partition information ranges string. It's not showing how much is free, right? Is it? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use them here, and then I'm going to use print the partition table. So I'm going to use it, create a new partition. So which one is it? N. Add a new partition. Okay. I'm going to push N and hit enter. And then you could definitely use this as a primary partition. So you push P and hit enter. Okay. And then the partition number is already 3. Either you have 3 or 4 left. So I'm going to use 3 and hit enter. And then you have this much space left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to either assign the entire disk space which is available, or I could give how much I want to assign it to. Okay. So what do you guys want to do? Use the entire disk, which is 4 GB, or use something less?
Okay, can you select here the first sector? This is for the first sector.
Yeah. So first sector is already here. So over here, just hit enter. Now we want to give how much size we want to use. So let's use 2 GB, okay? Plus 2G. So out of 4 GB, 2G is still left for the swap. Okay? Okay. So let me hit enter here. And then I'm going to do P and hit enter. So what it does is SDC is created and it automatically uses the default Linux system ID. Now what you have to do is you have to go into the menu and then you use change a partition system ID. So before that, let's go into the menu and see which partition type we're going to use. So I'm going to push L and hit enter. So we're going to be using number 82, which is a Linux swap. So menu again, and then I'm going to use the change partition system ID. Okay? So I'm going to use P so that you could see it. So we're going to change it from 83 to 82. So we're going to have to push number T here and hit enter. And then which partition you want to change the ID to. Okay, you could definitely change the existing one, but it will probably crash the system. So you should always remember what you're doing here. So push number 3 and hit enter. And then the hex code. Actually, the 82 is the hex code we need to put. This is not like a regular number, 82. It's a hexadecimal number. So you just put down 82 and hit enter. Okay? And then you push P, and you could see that the ID has been changed here. Okay, before that, let me document all this. So we are using okay, so we are using fdisk/dev/sdc. Okay. Okay, and then we created N for new partition. Okay, and let's copy it from top here of this command. Yeah. This command for you guys should be second nature, okay? Because they may ask you, some crazy guy will ask you the fdisk command. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this. M to view menu, M to create, E to partition. Then in this situation we'll be using number 3. Okay, so and then enter to use the default cylinders, whatever it gives you, and then we use 2 GB. Okay, then here, T to change the partition system ID. Okay, change the partition system ID. Okay, use hex code 82. Okay, what is the hex code 82 is right here. Where is 82? Right here. Okay, and then make sure P okay, So I'm going to just do 2 here. So the ID has been changed to 82 here. So what you have to do is you have to write an exit. Write an exit. Okay. So then what you have to do is you have to type part probe -s. So let's do LSB, okay. So SDC3 is not showing up here. So the command is part probe -s. Alright, so let's see here. SDC3 is there is 2 GB. So it updates the system here. Then you do LSB, okay. Alright. Okay, now it's not ready yet. So you still have to do the format. The file system, you know how we have the file system XFS, we use MKFS, right? MKFS dot XFS for XFS file system. And then we use MKFS dot ext4 for ext4 file system here. So for the swap, the file system you're going to use is MK swap. It's easy. Make swap. Okay, so the command you're going to use is MK swap. Then you're going to use def/SDC3. Alright? So I'm going to hit enter. So setting up swapping version, size, and all this here. Okay, so let's do BLK ID. When you type BLK ID, it's going to give you some good information here. So we're going to use this here, def/SDC3, and it gives us its unique UUID, and then the type is swap. This is a swap file system, and this is a XFS and ext4. Okay? Alright, I'm going to give 2-minute pause here. Any questions?
Can we create a multiple swap directives in the disk?
Multiple swaps on a disk.
Or it has to be one only on the...
I don't know. I never really tried. I suppose there's going to be your assignment. You check it out and let me know.
Okay.
So that would be a really nice thing to know. If you could have like multiple swaps. Disk.
Because another question is, I think it's the same question that the other brother asked. You create a swap file, you allowed these, you created a swap space, and now down the road with the system user we found out, okay, we need more swap, and we don't have the space left in this particular C drive or something. What's the solution to that?
You could just add another hard drive and create a swap on that one, a bigger size, and then, you know what, let me pause it for you. Let's pause it here. With the next 2 commands, you will know what exactly is happening.
Got it, thank you.
So what's happening here is you do clear 3-H. So the swap is still 15 GB. I mean 1.6 GB. And then we're going to add two more GB to it. So it's going to be 3.6 GB. Okay, so what will happen is the swap is already there, but system is not seeing. So for the system to see the swap, what you do is just type the command swap on /dev/sdc3. Okay, and hit enter. So let me make this screen bigger here. Swap on, okay, dev/sdc3. Before that, let's take a look at 3-H, and then I'm going to type swap on /dev/sdc3 and hit enter. Okay, let's do 3-H. Now you see the swap size is 3.6 GB. So now the system is using, the swap has been extended now. Okay, so I think if you have another multiple drive space, you could just point it to swap on /sdc4, and it might work here. You could definitely try it now, yeah, since we have some space left. So if you do ls-dlk, and so you're saying that this is 2 GB is swap, and 8 GB is partition is being used here, and 4 GB is being used here, and we still have 2 more GB. But what you still have to do is you have to, when the system reboots, it should stick. The swap should stick on. So if the swap is not going to stick on, then it will not mount the swap, the extended swap. So what do we have to do when the system reboots? There is one file we need to make an entry there.
FS tab.
Very good. Very good. So you do vi etc fs tab and hit enter. So what you should do is copy this line here, and then you could just copy it here, or you could copy it in a different location. Okay, so okay, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it here. So all you have to do is just edit this out. So / this part, you type SDC3, okay, and it's a swap, and then leave everything else alone. Okay, you save and exit, and then what will happen is when the system reboots, the swap is there. Okay, so okay, so you could use UUID. You can use UUID, and you could also use the label. I'm not going to show you. You all know how to make it a label, right?
Right.
Yeah. You could use the label, and you could use. Okay, over here the mount point is swap. Okay, so let me put this in a box. Need to get a new computer. So here, the mount point over here is swap here, this swap. So let's see, let's take a look here. The mount point we've been doing here is So the one point is slash, we don't have to put slash, you just swap, and then when you put it, the file system as swap, it will pick it up. Okay? And then one point. Okay, good. So let's see here, to turn off, to disable the swap, not the system swap, but the extended swap you just added, you just have to type swap off. So if you type swap off, okay, swap off slash dev slash SDC3 and hit enter. And if you do free -h, the swap is turned off. So not the entire swap, the extended swap is off. Maybe let's do this here. I think you could also turn off the swap, the system swap also. How are you going to turn off the system swap? You could do cat etc fstab, and then you could just use this information and /mapper/. Okay.
But if we comment this line, that will be permanently off also, right?
Yeah, the swap is off. Yeah, you could definitely turn off the swap also. And the reason I showed you is there are some applications out there that they do not want to use swap at all. It is very weird, but don't be surprised that when you type free -h, there will be teams that they don't want to use the swap. There are some particular applications they don't want to be used on swap on the system, and you will definitely see some once you started working the Linux job.
So now the question is whether if on the system there are multiple applications and some use swap and some doesn't use swap, or one doesn't use swap, so what's the solution in that case?
I've seen that in the development environment, but in the production environment, nobody wants to take risk, so they have one application running on one system. So far, that's what I've seen. And by the way, most of the time, I wind up working in a huge environment, like 10,000 servers or more. If you're working in a small place with there's like 1,000 servers, this would be your interview question. During the interview, you should ask the interviewer how many servers they have. If they have like less than 2,000 or something, just skip that job, because there'll be too much pain in the neck working those jobs. You know, they would expect you to know everything and anything and everything. But you know, in the smaller environment where there is a budget restrictions, you know, they may have like multiple applications running on the single server. So you may just have to deal with it. And usually that's a process there is some established process within the organization, how they're going to do things. Based on that, you will work through it. But in my career so far, I have never seen more than one application running, two different applications. They may have like similar applications from the same team, so you don't have to worry about it. Application part, you don't have to worry about too much. Okay? If all you guys have heard about ITIL, right? Information Technology Library, ITIL. information technology, IL is ITIL is a process how the ITIL, let's talk about ITIL. So ITIL is acronym for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. So these are like the practices that most companies are using it. And this is how the service is being delivered based on that. Because, they don't expect you to know if you know networking, database and everything, but you still be working in only one place. You won't have access to everything. And you shouldn't be working in the place that you don't have access here because there is a separation of duties involved. Service operations, service transition, service strategy, continuous service improvement. Let's see here. So it's just a service model here. It's very deep. ITIL is a strategy how the things are going to be working in the IT environment here. So I mean, at this point, don't worry about it. But look for when you are interviewing, look for the environment which is a little bit big. Anything bigger than 5,000 is a really good place to work. Okay, so let's move on. So you can turn off. Swap off, then you type /SDC3. So the swap is gone. And then what I'm going to do is mount -A. What does mount -A does? I think I showed you guys this last time. I showed you here mount -A.
It was going to mount all everything in the FSTab entry.
Exactly, very good. It reads the FSTab entries and then mounts it for you right away. The command reads through the FSTab and mounts the unmounted file system here. Okay, so let me just highlight this and make it bigger. All right, that should be better. So let me do mount -A, let me do free -H. And we have the, mount -A. Okay, I was at least expecting, I was at least expecting it to reload here, but apparently it doesn't. It, for the swap, you have to do it separately here. So you just do swap off, swap on, and you do free -H. It doesn't do that. Let's try swap on -A. And let's do it. Okay. So mount -A is mounting the physical drive, and you have to type swap on -A to mount all the swaps entry you have into the FSTab. Okay, so Okay, so let's do here, let's create a swap file on the other space that is left. /SDC3, and then I'm going to create a new partition, and then new. So I'm going to create 3 primary, 0 standard, 1 free. Okay, so I'm going to create primary P, and then it automatically took the partition number 4, so it's not even telling us. And then we're going to use the rest of it, so I'm going to hit 2, enter. Okay, and then I'm going to do P. So the SDC4 is the partition there, so I'm going to hit T, and then I'm going to hit hex code 82. Or which partition you want to do that? 4, and hex code is 82. Okay, and then I'm going to write an exit, and then I'm going to do part probe -s, and do lsblk, and you see the partition is there, but it doesn't show swap. So what I have to do is mk swap /del/sdc4. Okay, let's do lsblk. Let's do part probe one more time. lsblk. BLK ID. Yeah, it's showing here. Yeah. It may show up a little later here. So let's see. Part program. It may show up a little later here. Swap on dev. Okay, so it should go to 5.6 GB now. Swap on /dev/sdc. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Very good question. To answer your question, yeah, you could have multiple partitions, separate partitions, and then you could keep turning it on or adding the swap, and then you make the normal entry into the FS tab. Okay, now it's showing up swap. Oh, okay. Over here, it's showing up here after we mount it. So we mount it as a swap. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to create. One more. Okay, good. Okay, so do you need any output of this output here, or these instructions are good?
Good for me, brother. I don't know about others, but good for me.
Okay, yeah, let me put output here. The output was so original output was this. Okay, after we did all these things here, the output is So this is the output. Okay, so what we have seen here is so let me split this here. So this is partition 3. Okay, so this is partition 3, and what is this? It's 2 GB, and it's dev/sdc3, and it's a swap. Okay, and this one is the same thing. Okay, let me just move this here a little bit. So this is SDC4. Okay. Any questions? All right. So we have seen here that one single hard drive, it could have multiple file system, including a swap.
I think the last one is the partition 4, brother.
Excuse me. Yeah. Partition 4. All right. Let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back. So let's continue on. Okay. Okay, so let me go ahead and this is very, very important here. This is what we are you guys still on? Hello?
Yes, sir.
I am. Okay. I'm getting the WebEx application. Okay, if we get disconnected, I'm gonna come back right away, okay? Saving